Okay, hello everyone. Today is Wednesday. Even though it's the middle of the week, it's kind of the start of a lot of fun new things. And so I just want to get my iPad going so that I know I can see you. And if you have comments, I can talk to you about that too. So I'm super excited today. I'm not going to wait for people to jump in because I know a lot of you watch the replay, but I'm super excited today for 3 reasons, maybe even 4. So hi Lisa, thanks for joining in. Okay, so one reason, oh, my iPad's being really slow. Here we go. There I am. And so the thing that I'm most excited about is the catalog launches today. It was kind of tough. Like I have 4 things that I'm excited about, so I had to pick like where I should prioritize things. So hi Julie, hi Cheryl. So not only can I show you the outside that I have been showing you, I can show you the inside of the catalog now today too, because it's June 3rd, the catalog went live, it is launched. Hi Carol, hi Sue. So with that, normally I've been a demonstrator for 24.5 years, and normally when a catalog comes out, that's a big deal and we all go woohoo and we can't wait to order and we have our lists, and that's a good enough thing for us normally, where it's like yay, you know. And so I'm always surprised when Stampin' Up! Puts out promotions when it's the first month of the catalog, and I'm so excited about that. So my number one thing that I'm excited about is, yes, the catalog is live, and thank you for those of you that have ordered already. I woke up this morning, showered, and put on my most comfortable t-shirt because I knew it was going to be one of those days where I just needed to be ready to roll and comfortable and able to help people. So yeah, Cheryl, I don't normally see you live today, so it's fun to have you on here. I looked at your name like, wow, but I am later today, and that's how crazy fun it has been for the day today so far for ordering. Hi Marie, and thank you for those of you for your patience in working through the system today. If you tried to place an order earlier and the system has been just kind of crazy or slow or sluggish, or even just went to a different screen and you weren't able to get in, that's because we crashed the system. So that means that you guys are as a whole excited about what is in the catalog. So that's my number one thing. Today is the day that you can order from this. Number 2, let's see, where do I want to go next? Number 2, if you are wanting to host, and I have 4 hostesses already this month, which is great for everyone, because even if you think, you know what, I am stuck at home with this COVID, I maybe have a job that things have changed, I don't have the income source to have fun, but I'm at home, and these videos hopefully are giving you inspiration to get out things, not even purchase or buy new things, but just get out things, work with your card supplies. I think we all probably could craft for quite a long time without getting something new, and I don't want to think of when that would run out, but I just placed a large order, so I'm excited to have some new things in my supplies too, but I'm hoping that I'm giving you inspiration that way too. But for those of you that have hosted, then I'm doing your 3 cards virtually. So today is hostess Linda Sampson, and so Linda's gonna have card number 1 of her 3 that I will do virtually. So I'll do that today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so I am preparing her cards, and then the next 2 hostesses, I'm going to do a little bit of a break, and that's on purpose so that the things I ordered today, I can get those in and get working and get some ideas with those too. So that way you don't feel like you're stuck seeing the same old things too. And on purpose, I'm doing the same 3 bundles from the previous hostess as this hostess, so you can see some different ideas with the same products too. So that way I don't feel like I'm overwhelming you with lots of new stuff when everything is so new. So the second big deal is hostesses get an extra $25 in host rewards the month of June. The party needs to be closed by June 30th, and then the bonus is that even though we can't see each other and gather in groups, I can do your cards here that way. So that way we can do a virtual party. So let me know if you're interested, and I will post it on my Facebook business page and try and advertise so your friends can see the code and such too. So the third thing is, if you've ever thought, oh, my wish list is getting kind of long and want to join, well, there's a deal for that too. So if you have a wish list and it's got $125 worth of things on it, you can get that for $99, and then there is no shipping on that, just the tax. And so that's a nice savings, and that's the way Stampin' Up! Always sets it up. But also the month of June till June 30th, if you sign up before that, then you can get an extra bundle. So that can be a stamp set and a punch bundle, or a stamp set and a die bundle. And I love that they did either kind of bundle, because some people don't have a cutting machine. And so that way you can pick or choose what kind of style you want. And so that's an extra added bonus on top of the regular $125 for $99. Hi, Heather. Hi, Marie. So with that, then I thought I had 4 things, and I thought, oh, that 4th thing is like, oh, maybe it was just catalog starts. There's the extra hostess things, and then the joining special. Number 4, Linda. I already talked about Linda. So, okay, so the exciting thing is it's a brand new virtual party start for Linda. So today is card number 1 out of 3, and this is Linda's card for today. I threw out all stops of, hey, let's go simple. And so all out with a lot of dies today, but sometimes to do that and go, wow, I love that I did that. So hi, Sharon. So that is coming from the Forever Fern bundle. And so let me get started on that. I think I am ready, because I feel like I've talked to you so long. I'm just gonna flip my camera around so that I can talk through my things, and then you'll be able to see everything at this correct angle anyway. So once again, I'll show you the card. Here it is, Forever Fern, and so it's using some of the pretty paper and the dies from that, and dies from another set too, and the stamp set. So Forever Fern has some really nice sentiments in it, as well as all sorts of nice greenery. And I'll also show you where that is at in the catalog. I already have this one memorized. How sad, but how exciting is that? So in the catalog, it is starting on page 108. You kind of see the nice forever greenery suite of products kind of laid out there, and then you see the samples, and it actually follows through to the next page too. And one thing that I want to show you and point out is this little thing, I'm going to get it there, distinctive. So anytime you see that little circle there, it means that the images that are stamped here, when you stamp, you can stamp it just in one image, and you can see where it's lighter and darker, and that will actually show up on all of these stamps when you stamp that. And hopefully, well, actually I'll bring the sample back out. You can kind of see, even though I use Pear Pizzazz on this, you can see it's lighter and darker in some areas. And I think especially for greenery and flowers and such, that's such a bonus to have that, because you don't have to use a lot of technique. It just takes over. And even in the sample in the catalog, if I can get it, and point to it at the same time. Here we go, this one. You can see where it's using just the one ink pad, but you can see the light and dark variances on that. So that's one thing I wanted to point out, which is really fun too. Okay, so I think I can put that aside for now, but it's kind of fun that I can show you the inside of the catalog without getting in any trouble today. So I'm kind of used to keeping it close. So that was kind of fun. All right, so now I always go to, how do I start my card as I'm designing? It's always like, how did I get to this point and everything? So what I did initially is, I knew for Linda I wanted to use some of this gorgeous designer series paper, and there's all sorts of fun paper in here, and we used this last week, and there's great front and backs. And so I kind of placed my order today and went, oh, I probably should have ordered some more of that, but it's wonderful paper. Last week I used this page, and so I wanted to use something different. So I went with this. So then my next step of my thought process for putting my card together was, okay, now what greens go with this? So I listed off garden green, just jade, pear pizzazz, pretty peacock, shaded spruce, soft seafoam, and standing alone, all of those colors look wonderful, but I used pretty peacock last week, so I thought, let's do something different. And so I wanted the base to be as close to this color as I could. So that ended up being garden green. So I thought, well, that worked out really well, and I liked that. And let me just make sure that, I'm gonna adjust my tripod a little bit better just to make sure you have a really good view. Maybe you do. Maybe I'm just over stressing about it. Okay, so anyway, I liked the color of the garden green with that. And then I thought, okay, I want an accent color that is a little bit lighter. And so I went to the back and thought, okay, there's the just jade, which I also used last week, and that was gorgeous. And it looks great with some things. It would be okay with this, but then look what happens when I put it with my garden green. It's like, yuck, you do not want to put these colors together. So I decided to grab a strip of, here we go, pear pizzazz, and I thought that just looked a lot more like it went together, the pear pizzazz, than did the just jade. So a little too blue for what we're working with today. So you can see that, and you can see no. Okay, so that is that. And then what I decided to do next is take this little strip here, and also in that suite of products, and I used this just yesterday, is the Stampin' Cut and Emboss folders. And so there's two folders. Yesterday on my blue card that I did, I used the folder that kind of has the top and the bottom. So I can put that aside. We are going to use the other one that has kind of that ivy look. That's kind of like this here. So just a nice greenery. So I'm going to put a 5.5 by, it's probably a couple inches, but I'm going to trim it down after the fact. So I know it's 5.5 for sure because it's going to run the whole length of the card. And I'm going to put that in my folder, and I'm going to run that through my, I have all these magnets on the other one. Okay. All right, I'm going to put that through my Big Shot, like so. And then I have a really nice impression of that. I'm going to put it up close so you can see. So that turns out really fantastic. I love that. Okay, so next I'm going to get out my trimmer because a couple reasons. I'm just going to trim down. I wanted to do this 5.5, so I've already cut this 5.5, and I'm going to do it by 3. And so actually with one 12 by 12 sheet, you're going to cut it 5.5, and then you'll get 2 strips of that, and then 3 you'll get 4 across. So that's 8 card fronts that you can make with this cutting out at that measurement. So then sometimes, I don't know if you've noticed that, running it through an embossing folder that's highly patterned, and this one's not terrible, but I thought sometimes it shrinks it up a little bit. So I know my card size is 5.5 by 4.25, so 3 plus 1.25 is going to give me that measurement that I need. So I'm just gonna put that 1.25 in there. Whoops. And go like that, and then that's just going to be my scrap. And then this is my little tip or trick that I do, is when I'm trying to lay something right up to the edge, when there's no like 1/4 inch gap, what I do is I take my adhesive and put that on, and I use my trimmer as an edge guide. So I accidentally put my display card when I first started making it like upside down. So I want to make sure this is facing the right way. So I put this right up across the base there, and there's a lip, so that's why I like that. And then I just slide that across till it gets to the end, and it is against that too. So it's really easy to get that. There's nothing hanging over the edges at all. So since I always have my trimmer out, it's a really great way to make sure that things line up and don't end up too crooked. So just gonna add a little bit more adhesive here. And here too, I'll just kind of butt that up against that lip. And I can just take and kind of put that right up against the edge of that designer series paper like so. And then we have the card front completely covered. There again, nothing sticking out on any of the edges too. And sometimes you'll just have a little variance of your trimming that might make things be a little bit over because of measurement. And that just happens, and you can easily trim that off with your scissors as well. So that's how I came up with that. And then I knew I wanted some sprigs and greenery. And I also knew I wanted this little sentiment that says, to a friend that makes me smile. So I'm going to start with the darker green, the garden green, like my card base, like so. And I'm going to stamp that out. Oh yeah, and here's Linda's code. I always post that with the card when I'm done too, so that'll help you. But that way, if you're seeing the video and know that you want to order, this will kind of be a reminder of what card you're getting when you see the code. So a $25 minimum order gets the 3 cards associated with Linda's stamp party. Okay, so I'm going to stamp out the sentiment in the garden green ink pad. And that is where I'm going to pull out a couple dies here. And these are something that came out last Halloween. They were super popular, the Ornate Frames dies. I'm glad they carried over. So if you remember, a lot of these kind of foo-foo frilly things, they could have been kind of spooky with the Halloween paper that came out with them and that whole suite. But now I've used them so often with something just like this where I want it to look a little bit special, and you can see it's pretty detailed there too. So what I'm going to do is switch out my base plate on my Big Shot to the magnetic plate. And I'm going to set that aside and put that in. And got that. So then seeing my my sentiment there, I can frame that. And this is going to be a really tight fit, so I'm glad for a magnetic frame so that I can see exactly where I'm at, and then hopefully that won't move. And another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this at the same time. This is very intricate, and just as I was getting prepared for the card, hi Pam, hi Leah, I was thinking that my die was getting a little sticky. So I'm going to take, actually this is parchment paper, hold on. This is exactly how you know it's a live presentation. Thankfully my kitchen's pretty close. Okay, I had parchment paper. Scratch that, you do not want it. You want wax paper. So anytime your dies, especially those that are kind of intricate, get to the point where they're a little sticky, this can cover that up. That'll be just fine. So you want to put this so that it cuts into the wax paper, and then you'll put it right on top of the garden green. And it's just going to help release and kind of, if your thing, not that it should ever get sticky, but just kind of feels gummy or something, and it makes that paper want to stick, that's really going to help that too. So dies, just over time that happens to them, and so I usually keep some wax paper in my stamp room for that reason, so it's right there. So I was kind of glad it was in back in my kitchen now. So so yeah, this just kind of pulls away from that pretty easy, and then I can just take my take your pick tool. And I don't think I saw that Kathy is watching. I have a stamping friend, Kathy. She loves anytime she can take your pick tool and poke away at that kind of stuff. So I'm just poking out some of the things, but I also want to get the die to release too, because there's a lot of ornateness to the die. But you can see that really popped out of that well. And I'm just gonna go and poke out those extra little pieces. They'll have a little bit of that white coating on the pieces that we're gonna get rid of, because that is where the wax paper stuck to them, but we get rid of all of those, so that's not a big deal at all. It doesn't leave any film behind, which is great too. So almost done poking that. And depending on how sticky it is and how many times you use that wax paper, more will pop out too each time. So there again, I think this is totally worth it to use this because it's such a pretty die. So now I've got that all poked out, I'm gonna hold it closer to the camera there, like so. It's really pretty. And we focused all on that, but in the meantime, this also cut out, so that pops out. And I'm gonna set that aside. So those two dies are from the ornate dies. And then next I'm going to take just a piece of Whisper White and open up my Pear Pizzazz ink pad. Hi Joyce, thanks for joining in. So this one I actually had to take some paper and kind of, Minnesota, the humidity rolled in, and so this one felt a little bubbly to me, and I think I have it so it's kind of toned down. I just pressed some paper into it so that it would absorb it. Yes, and so this is looking much better. Okay, so you can see the distinctive ink where it's all one color, it's all Pear Pizzazz, but you can see some lighter and darker on there, which I love because that makes it gorgeous. And then I'm gonna set those aside so I don't lose them. Got all sorts of papers going on today. I'm gonna set that aside. And I'm gonna pull my Big Shot back over here, and then hopefully I can maybe line all of this stuff up. So this, I'm going to, yep, that snaps right on there with my magnetic pad. So I'm gonna frame that die right on there. It wants to move a little bit. There we go, that's better. Okay, so I've got that for that. And then this, I should be able to put a couple things on. And these dies, here's two more, so hopefully the camera picks up. Actually, it's magnetic, we can do this. So these three dies are pretty big dies. These two are more of embellishment accent, and this is an outline framelit. But they all come from the Forever Flourishing die set. So this is a really big one with lots of other dies, and I used a really big one from it last week, so that's back in my stamp room. And I will just take my cutting pad and put that over top, and because there's three of them and such, and some of them are kind of intricate, I'm gonna do kind of a back and forth through there. So yeah, this one pops out super easy, so that one's done. And then yeah, these pop out just as slick. Don't you love it when dies, you can just pull the die off and nothing is stuck? Although I need new cutting pads. This kind of almost wants to stick to my cutting pad. Not terrible, but yeah, those come out super slick. So I love it when that happens. Hi Barb, hi Carol. So just kind of want to look at my card, and I think I have everything kind of cut out. So now it's just assembling. So to start that, I'm going to take my sentiment and some of my snail. Today was the first day that you could order the seal adhesive, and I ordered that new adhesive because I'm really excited to try it out. I guess it's got a little bit of a stronger bond than the snail, and then there's one with even a stronger bond, that's the Seal Plus. So I wanted to check that out and see. So even though the snail and its refills will be gone, I'm anxious to try that out and give you my thoughts on that too. So we have that layered in there. Actually, I'll put it closer to the camera. So that is just gorgeous. There again, I always underestimated green, and this is so pretty. And then on the back side of this, I'm going to put quite a few dimensionals because I want all of those greenery sprigs that I just cut out to be able to kind of attach themselves to my dimensionals. And that way there's plenty of chances for them to stick. So I kind of know I want this, and what I did is where that flat edge is, I kind of want up where the two different textures meet there. And I also know that I don't want this sprig to go too far off my card. So I kind of start with that, and then I lay this down next. And then I kind of just put that on here like so, but I didn't press down. I want this left up so I'll know exactly how much space and where I can tuck this last thing in. I'm sure everybody puts their cards together just like that. Okay, so we've got that just like so. And so taking those same colors, it just makes things pop in a different textured way. I love that I decided to do the ornate. The thing that it was like coming back away from is I didn't want to, with this being such a gorgeous bundle, I didn't want to feel like, oh, I'm adding another set of dies. But then I realized so many people got the ornate dies already that you might already have that in your crafting stash. And then it's a fun way to pull those out and use them again. And then for the inside, since it's kind of just one of those sentiments that is just really for any occasion, to a friend that makes me smile, I'm not putting anything on the inside to go with that, but I am just going to stamp out that greenery just for that to be an easy layer to put on the inside. So I'm just going to tack that down. And I don't want to forget, some days I have forgotten about that extra little accent on the front, and I'm not going to forget that today. So I'm just going to do that like so. And then for my extra little pop for the front, this could be enough, but they have these fun forever, or flowers for every season. We're doing the forever fern, so that's why I keep thinking it should be forever with everything. Hi, Tori. So with this, when you open that up, these come in a little baggie, and this might actually be one of those products that when I put the lid on, I might put this back in the baggie because there's a lot of little pieces. So fun sparkly greens, and then just some clear little rounded edges for just kind of a water, look like a blob of water for when your plants kind of get some dew on them. So I'm just going to, with my liquid glue, just kind of pop a little dot where I think it might show up. And so this is one of those things where I love my Take Your Pick tool. I'm gonna load up my tacky on there. And I want to take one of these green gems. Actually, I was going to flip it around so you can see it, but I'm going to put it on the card first. Oops, wants to stick more to my tacky stuff. There we go. So these little green gems, as you can see, when I first got them, I thought, well, they're that light jade color, but that's just the back side. So the front sides are all sparkly. So you can kind of see that. A little bit of a lift, kind of like a rhinestone, but they're not too raised up where if you put them in the mail, they're not going to cause too much problem with that. Hi, Paige. Paige is my daughter-in-law. She's my favorite. And then I'm just going to take some of these littler white pieces. There's different shapes and such there. So I'm just going to take one of these larger ones and just put that in my green glue there. And I'm going to put a smaller one. I'm going to take that out. Sometimes I almost like using this tool more for finding them in there. Then I can tack that down there. But the green glue will dry clear, which is always one of those things that you wonder, did I have that the right way? That just went missing in action. Let's try a new one. Okay, here we go. So I just wanted a smaller one, but that one almost looked like it was just a different shape. Now I have glue on my fingers, guys. This is not supposed to be happening like that. Okay, there we go. And I have one more dot. Okay, so what I was getting back to saying too is that I always think it's attractive to have an odd number when you're doing accents. And so this is one of those things where I always kind of struggle because, oh, all that glue on my fingers, it's still gonna stick to the card fantastic. I'm gonna take my bone folder and press it on there. Perfect. Okay, so it's one of those times that I want the odd number of that to show up, and I don't even know, like on the camera, if you can see it, maybe only when you get the card you'll see that little it's going to look like a water drop there, and there, and here. And so I always go with odd numbers of embellishments. And this is where I've added like the fourth one. But because it kind of is its own standalone, that's going to be just its own one. And then the attractiveness of having the odd number of 3 for the others. So that is my card for today. And the inside like so. So let me get that flipped around here. All right, so yeah, so what I'm going to do next is upload my card today, and I'm going to put that on this Facebook page. So I'll upload that, and then with that I will list all of the accessories used to make the card, as well as Linda's host code. Thanks, Tori. And so that way, if you are thinking, gosh, I want to make that exact same card, you'll know what you need to order if you haven't placed your order today from the first day of the annual catalog. And then yeah, so I'll have that. And then since the online store is caught up, I have been making cards ahead of time kind of with the new products, and getting those kind of as a little sneak peek for you. And I couldn't list the link, so today I can go back and do that, and then today I can give you a list. So if you ever click on that link that's in blue on the video and the card and go, what's that for? If you click on that, it goes to my store and it says Belle's recommended shopping list, and everything is listed. So if you're curious about, okay, that's the stamps that she used, great, but like how much is it, or like what all comes with it. If there's a bundle, then you can kind of see that too. And so I list that there to help you as well. Or if you go, oh, I just want everything to make that card, you can kind of go click, 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 and it adds it to your cart. So it's an easy way to shop that way too. So so that'll be good that I can update that today, because today is the first day live in the catalog. So I knew today would run a little bit long. I like my presentations to stay kind of short because I have a short attention span when it comes to watching videos, but I also knew it would be one of those cards that it would take a lot of die cutting and things like that too. But I often say I hope it's worth it if I'm making a card that turns out that you go, yeah, that was worth the time to do all those extra special touches. And I know when I get cards from you guys, I'm like, wow, she put a lot of effort into that. So I need to do some of those cards every once in a while too, so you guys know that not everything I do is always simple. So hope you guys are having a great Wednesday, and I'll be back again tomorrow afternoon with card number 2, and I'll probably do something with the sunflower bundle. So hope to see you then. Thanks.